All right, so we're doing Peacemaker reaction for season two, or discussion anyway, for season two. I saw these two creators react to it. It seems interesting to me. Want to break it down and see if I agree with them and their takes. And we're going to basically go through. Again, if you want to check theirs out, go down the description below in the links. Check theirs out, go support, then come right back here so we can have a conversation. I personally don't believe James Gunn didn't jam, as people were saying. My bad if I sound a little off. I'm getting over a cold, but I wanted to show up for y'all so we can talk about it. So let's get into it and see the breakdowns of these. Let's see the breakdown of season 2, episode 8. See how I feel and see if we can relate to it. Again, mind you, sound sick. My bad.
Guys, I just wanted to take a second and talk a second about that Peacemaker finale that we saw last night. Now, look, overall, I loved Peacemaker season 2. Loved it. The characters
I thought season 2 was a Peacemaker is still well written show. Well written, it was a well written show.
Some great development. I thought the humor was even better. Loved it overall. So I was really excited about watching the finale. And because I was at Tron Aries at the movie meetup, I didn't get to see it early in the evening. So before I watched it later at night, I already started reading some people saying they really didn't like the episode. So I was expecting something really stupid to happen in it. So here are my thoughts on that.
I know exactly what I didn't like before I heard it. It was, personally, I didn't like it. The music. Like, I understand. Again, this is James Gunn's flaw. Like I said in my previous videos, he's like a mad scientist. Like, he has moments of genius, and then for some reason he just does too much. And like when he was playing the Nelson, he loves music, I guess, and he loves to show his love through music. And I don't know, it's a fine line as a business owner, as a creator, as entrepreneur, because that's what they are at the end of the day. Entrepreneurs doing something they love and getting paid for it, providing a service, which is entertainment. He's giving what he loves, he's passionate about. But there's a fine line. You have to make sure you also give what the fans want or the supporters want, and not just doing it because you just want to do it. You could do whatever you want, of course. I'm not gonna tell James if it ain't broken. I mean, he went from Marvel to now running DC. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Whatever you got going on for you. But it's like, why are you showing this band 3 times? You could have done so many things. I would have put more action into it. I promise you is that. Because I was like, why is there so much music? Like, I need to see more. Like, the emotional beat. Atabayo was... Danielle Brooks was carrying the episode. With the closure of her and her girlfriend. And the idea of what love is supposed to be. And sometimes you have to let go of someone you love, especially if you want them happy. Great scene. Connection with Chris and their people. The 11th Street kids in the room after trying to chase Chris down after Vigilante knocked him out, tased him. Atabayo again, that scene is powerful, man. Chris, the reason, when she was like, a black woman will speak life to you, man. You understand? That's the power of a black woman. We'll speak life into you. Like she said, Chris, listen to me. The reason why people around you die is because you wasn't listening to yourself. All right? I was like, oh, where's that from? It sounded like, it was good. Yo, your father told you to fight your brother. You did. Father told you to take out Rick. You did. And you knew you wasn't supposed to go into that world. And then when he's like, I saw an eagle hug a human. You make me believe in miracles. I love everybody's love. John Economos. That dig she did with John Economos. Yo, I know I'm going off tangent, but that was a really good episode. If anything was missing, it was just action. And she's like, yo, John Economos, one of the biggest cowards I've ever seen, and he put himself in front of on the line for you countless of times. And that's how much he loves you, Anyway, let's keep going. My bad.
Episode. I didn't find anything particularly wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like, I was expecting to find some big thing that happens that's just really, really dumb. And I didn't find that. But
the scenes with the music, I didn't understand why I played so much music. The band, I understand enjoying the scenes with Harcourt, sure, but I don't know.
The episode to me just kind of felt aimless, directionless, and mostly the word that popped into my head the most about it was random. You know what it feels like? It feels like episode 7 was
I
actually
guess
the
it was supposed to be because James Gunn said this is supposed to be directly into Man of Tomorrow. So at the end of the day, it's not over. I think his arc. I think a lot of people have to just chill. Like, we don't always have to have action. I wish we had action in the episode, but we don't always have to have action. Oh, I took a minute for a second. I'm like, yo, why is there so much music and why there's not enough action in this? Then I took a beat and I said, hold up. Might as well. Sometimes Marvel's failure was always putting big finishers in the movie, but nothing big finishers in a movie and the big climactic scenes in the movie and action and CGI, but it was lifeless. If you could felt the formula was bland, it was overused. Like ChatGPT, there's no dialogue, barely good dialogue, barely any barely the characters wasn't fleshed out correctly. So we've had that and it doesn't work for us. This is the exact opposite. The exact opposite of this is, a lot of dialogue, a lot of motions where they resolving and not much action, just a lot more just dialogue and fleshing the characters out and coming full circle moments. So, and that's okay. And especially, again, I think, and when I realized at the end of the day, this is supposed to lead to a big movie anyway. Superman, Man of Tomorrow. All right, then we just gotta wait. So I don't like to say it was underwhelming. Like,
long post-credit scene. Like, oh, okay, so suddenly now Rick Flag is this. Oh, and now suddenly they're doing that. Oh, and you're just resolving this like that. And oh, it's going to end with Chris there. Like, and that's just what the whole episode felt like. Like, whereas every other episode in the season felt really well thought out and really well laid out. Like, it knew where every episode was starting. It knew what the destination of the episode was. And this,
I mean, he did tell us, like, he wasn't wrong. Like, he did tell us this was going to lead to a Man of Tomorrow, so it's not going to really end. And he's not sure. Only thing I disagree is the fact that he said in his podcast he might end it like this and there's be no season 3. He's not sure if there's going to be a season 3. Should be one more season anyway, maybe 2 more actually, season 4, and then cut it. One of the best seasons of a show. One of the best length of a show is usually between 4 to 6 seasons, in my opinion. 10 maybe the maxed out. Anything longer than that, I'm like, I burn out.
just felt like an afterthought. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. It's not like it was so bad that it like tanked the season for you. No. Overall, I still think the season 2 of Peacemaker was fantastic. Loved it. I'm just scratching my head a little bit about how you do things a certain way with a certain philosophy and a certain storytelling cadence for the first 7 episodes, and then all of a sudden you get to this 8th episode and just random. Oh, this
all
now
right,
this now.
So that's, I don't know if he's explaining it correctly, but that's my frustration with James Gunn. I've always said it. That's James Gunn and his writing. That's how I felt about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's just the way he does things. Like, his writing sometimes it's just like it's great, and then I don't know where like it'll just get you off guard. Like, what the fuck just happened? What? That's James Gunn writing right there, through and through. Yeah, that's James Gunn writing. You'll have gold, and then just you can't always crank it out 100% all the time, I guess.
This, and nothing felt cohesive. Nothing felt like it was planned out. Again,
I felt like it was just, it's not what we want. Sometimes it's not like what we like. Like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is my best example. Like, the ending of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because it's again, it's what I was just saying. It's like, it's his fine line doing what he wants to do. In Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he explains that it's all about Rocket. He relates to Rocket. That's what we love. So he puts all his focus on Rocket's story. But you're focusing only on that, sure. But there's also Gamora and Quill. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget, that's what fans or at least people like me who support is invested in. Put some effort in making sure that story is told out correctly, and don't just tell me that Drax never gets to dream about his kids, a daughter, his family at one time, or we just find out. Like, I get the closing of Drax was this entire time he is the gentle giant, he is a good parent during that scene where he helped all those kids, and he's able to speak the language. But I was like, I wanted to see more, but he'll do whatever he wants.
Let me say the word again, random, and that's kind of what it felt like to me. So Nothing horrendous that like ruined the season for me
Like I
or
said,
anything.
it's just his decisions. Sometimes he just makes random decisions. Like I was like, why did you make that decision for? Like,
Where was the big cameo that James Gunn himself said we're going to get? Does that mean the Lex Luthor cameo? Because he implied it was going to be in the final episode. Does that mean the Lex Luthor thing
I
was
think he was
the?
talking about the band. Like I said, it's his thing and his vision that makes him go his thing. But we're not in your head like that too, man. Don't forget you're writing for us too as well. Like that's what we're paying and supporting your brand for, you know. But like I said, I have faith in him that he's gonna, turn it all around in Superman Man of Tomorrow.
Cameo? Really? We had plenty of other characters from the Superman movie, and just dropping another one in there is the big cameo when last season's cameo was the entire Justice League? I don't know. Anyway, I was disappointed. I was underwhelmed by the finale. Again, does not change that I think the season as a whole, chef's kiss, brilliant. I just think that finale should have been a lot better. Anyway, that's just what I thought
All
about
right,
it.
so that's his take. Let's look at somebody else's take I wanted to work with.
I just finished the Peacemaker season 2
All right.
finale, literally less than 10 minutes ago.
You sound stressed. What happened? You sound stressed as hell, bro.
God. That has to be one of the most disappointing finales to a television season I've seen in a long time. And not just in terms of cameos or whatever. I don't give a shit about
Okay.
cameos. But the fact that none of the plot lines were really resolved, apart from like the romance between
I was
Chris
about
and
to say.
Harcourt. But, oh my God. Holy shit. What the fuck did I... Okay, listen. I wait a bit after watching an episode to review it so I can digest the thoughts. So, my thoughts might be a bit dramatic right now. I might
Calm down.
calm down a bit after I've had some time to process it. But
I think he's gonna
right,
change his mind when he calms down. I was like that for a second. I wasn't that bad about it. I was just like, all right, like it just sucked that they just took him and he's back to being alone again. I felt like it looked like he finally figured. I wish they had one more episode where he would at least did an act. That's what's missing. I think if they did an action with Checkmate, just an episode of them actually in action doing something, I think we all would have been satisfied. I promise you. I think we all would have been satisfied. But I felt like it was just like I wish they did one episode where they show an action of them in working together doing Checkmate. One episode, Maybe it'll be like Checkmate will be a series. Hopefully, Checkmate will be a series like The Office.
now, like there's like immediate post viewing me, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Are you serious? That was bad. To me, right now, as of this moment, that was bad. All right, let's go through my notes. Okay, so Otis is back from Superman. Cool, I guess. They really try to push in the fact that Rick Flag is lining himself up with Lex's gang, which is, I guess I could see that leading into Man of Tomorrow. And, because it's being all buddy and shit. That one dimension with the candy, with the little alien things, and they eat out the guy's face. That was fucking brutal. Those alien things look like that one Ben 10 alien, though.
That's why I didn't fuck with Rick Flag. I was like, bro, he's just sacrificing them. All this for revenge? Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's his son. But Waller was the one that gave the order, so anyway. I probably have to watch Creature Commandos to really understand his mindset.
Dimension exploring feels like something that should have happened halfway through the season. I feel like the season finale just wasn't really the time for it. I feel like it just
I agree. Like I said, 2 more episodes. If they got 2 more episodes, I'm telling you, episode Checkmate and maybe an extra episode of them exploring the dimensions, and I think we would have been fine. But again, it's that creative decision stuff, He just does things sometimes.
didn't belong in the season finale. You know what I mean? Because you're adding like so much more new information to the world of season 2. It just doesn't make sense to have this whole compilation bit of
But
exploring
he did
these
say, again, I'm gonna warn y'all again. He did say it's supposed to lead to Man of Tomorrow, so hopefully Man of Tomorrow is a 3-hour movie.
Oh, it's so frustrating to talk about this. And we also have the skull tentacle monsters. I don't know if that's a reference to something. I haven't really looked on Reddit or anything. I'm sure it's a reference to some old
Demonic.
comic. There's
Yeah.
zombies as
Hellboy shit.
well, and we get confirmation that Flagg and Bordeaux banging. I don't think they ever explicitly mentioned it, but yeah, I guess they were. And while Bordeaux and Meadows and Harcourt are, you know, seeing everyone get killed and shit while exploring these dimensions, Flagg is like, "Hey, cheers, cheers." Dude, Flagg is such an asshole. I kind of love his character though. That might be really bad to say, but I really like his character in this season. Low-key, he might be my favorite character. I know that might be a really bad thing to say, but dude, the guy's a piece of shit. And speaking of Flagg, they introduce this whole new plot point about how they're looking for a dimension to make a metahuman prison, and it's like Flagg's idea. But then no, sorry, it was Lex's idea, but Flagg reintroduces this idea to, you know, the Secretary of the United States. And I'm just like, dude, why are we introducing this whole other plot thing in the season finale? Like, what? Why? Is this like, is this built?
This is
And
how I
feel like-
felt with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like, you can't just end it here like that, bro. Like, I need something else. I need extra. Like, you can't just move on to the next, man. I need you to finish this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need you to finish this, man. Like, come on. You can't just end Quill and Gamora not being together or figuring it out. I need them to be together. That's how he felt for this. That's how he felt for this one too. I feel him. Guns writing, yo.
just emotionally, it just made sense in the emotional tension wise. You know, I don't know what the fuck I just said in that sentence, but it just, for emotional climax, that would have made the most sense. Would it have not? I don't know, but I guess he's returning for potential season 3. Otherwise, it's like, why bother keeping him alive, you know? And then we finally find out what the boat thing is, and it's not them hooking up or having sex. It's just a kiss between them. And I'm gonna be honest, I know James Gunn really loves his music taste, which
Yep.
is whatever you want for a bit too long.
I'm with you,
like,
homie. I'm with you. I'm with you, homie. I'm with you. Big time, bro. I was like, what the fuck? And a lot of people make a big deal about that kiss. I mean, they're broken souls, you know? It means, honestly, being a kiss, they don't have to have sex. They don't have to have sex, make love to mean something, you know? The guy's broken. He's never had intimacy like that. He's always been just, he went from a sociopathic, moral conflicted killer to one having like second guess of his like identity crisis, you know? And what's her name? Harcourt suffered from apparently toxic masculinity, you know what I'm saying? And she's not right in the head, as she says. So a kiss to them means something to them. So again, they don't have to have, like, guys, like, stop being weird, horny people. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Scorpio, I understand, but calm yourself. Like, sometimes a kiss is just enough for it to mean something, the world. Like she said, it meant everything. And that's why he wants her, you know, and she's always either gaslighting or confusing him. So he's trying to understand, yo, is there some hope for us? But yeah, he's right about the damn freaking.
Like, another funny moment when Vigilante just takes out Peacemaker, just slams him into the door and just starts tasering him. Oh my god. Okay, so then we get the gang talking to Chris in that motel room, and they're giving a heart-to-heart and everything. I don't know, but the pacing of it, this scene, I feel like it belongs in the penultimate episode, you know, like building up to the big finale. Maybe that's just like too generic of a story structure, but it just felt so weird here because I was thinking, dude, we're already like 3/4 into this fucking finale, and then we're getting the speech. I'm like, there's no time left for a big fight.
That's what it is. I was just waiting for a big fight. Like, it don't be like that. Sometimes I wanted to have action too, but after a while, I'm like, eh. Like I said, he said he's going to lead to season 3, maybe. And he said also, like, I wouldn't want to see Keith again. I'm sure we're going to get that again. I think this was a story arc. Like, I think he's really building out the world for Peacemaker, you know? So, we'll see. If he does this, if there's no season 3, then I'm with you. But if there is, or if he doesn't somehow, like I said, he's a mad genius, you know? Sometimes he'll have that stroke of genius, pop, 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 and then out of nowhere, like, just completely left. Hopefully, if this is his left, hopefully when Superman Man of Tomorrow comes, clears everything up.
is going on? What is the point of this? This feels so weird. And then we get the band who plays the theme song performing. By the way, it was very strange hearing the second verse of that song. You know, and since the song is a long song, this compilation of the gang setting up this new business, being like super happy and laughing, it went on for way too long. You know, like everyone is laughing.
Like I said, the only thing that was missing was them. They should have did an episode of them actually taking action, taking part, whether they're chasing down a lead or, you know, them Vigilante and Atabayo, you know, walking the beat somewhere and knocking on a door to ask some questions. However, I mean, I think it's a detective type of a job, right? It's a spy job, whatever, a spy agency that they're trying to create. Like Bardot working with Fleury and looking over things, or talking to Economos, you know, typing on a computer, like something that not just building. They just spent the time building the agency. That's the only thing. I promise you, if they were to take action and did something along with not just building, they would have. That would have been an OP episode. Like I said prior before in the other creators.
Like, what is this, a salad commercial? How? It did not have to go for that long. I'm sorry, okay? It literally added nothing. And honestly, at some point, I was like, is this meant to be ironic? Like, they're just laughing and smiling way too much, which I know is a really weird criticism.
I get it. It did feel like he was just taking time. He was taking up space for some reason, and I don't know. Like the episode was just meant for him to play his band.
Natural, like the compilation of them like going in slow motion. I was like, when will this end? However, I was very surprised that the business that ended up starting was Checkmate. I was like, oh, did not expect that. You know, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then at this point, I was like, don't tell me they don't resolve Keith or Flagg. And you know what? As I said before, they did kind of resolve things with Flagg, because Flagg kidnaps Chris, or he sends guys to kidnap him, and then he sends him into Salvation, the prison dimension thing. So I don't understand how there couldn't be a season 3, otherwise that'll be a really whack ending. Unless like Peacemaker shows up in Man of Tomorrow. I don't know, man. And yeah, by the way, we know what Hal's like, Earth X could be, you know, the main antagonist of Man of Tomorrow. Nope, I don't think so. I don't think James Gunn has any intention of bringing Earth X back until a potential season 3. And honestly, when Flagg was walking away after sending Peacemaker into that dimension, he got that aura, bro. He was aura farming. He was clip farming when he was walking away. I was like, oh shit, right, man. Guy's a piece of shit.
Right.
But he looked really cool while doing it. And then, yeah, maybe I am being too critical. I don't know, man. Again, I just had high hopes that this finale could save things for me in terms.
That's James Gunn's writing anyway. You know how that is, and I think that's pretty much it. He basically almost said, well, he's just more harsher with it. He's more critical with it. I don't think you need to be that critical. I think it was played the way it's supposed to. If you take a beat and you take a second, you realize I think that's the way he wanted it to go. Only mistakes were that long, random music for no reason. And I'm like, why are we playing this band for? Why are we playing this band for? If you take a second and you really realize, like, you got to resolve for Chris finally getting to a place where he accepts his family, accepts his version of his new family that he could do right by. You know, I think Atabayo really pushes him to become a better version of himself, and everybody else does too as well. I believe, like I said, I don't know. I think a lot of us had a high expectation because the show has been so, and now it's just like, whoa, what just happened? You know, for the finale. But again, he also said that it's gonna be a direct sequel to Man of Tomorrow. So I guess we're all just being patient. We all want a lot more. I think also part of it is James Gunn's creative decision. Sometimes he does random things and it takes you to the left. But overall, I don't think it was a bad episode. I think it was okay. Does it change the whole entire season? It doesn't really. You know, I think the season, as the way you feel about the season, been on point. To make it seem like, oh, this episode tanks the entire season, no. I don't think this episode tanks the entire season. I think Peacemaker being on point. What really matters is what he does for Superman Man of Tomorrow, what he does to tie in Peacemaker and his story. You know, I think he's missed, and hopefully he continues in season 3 or episode of like a 2-3 special episode run, holiday episodes of Checkmate and them acting. Once you have all that, I think you'll be done. You know, I think it'll be good. I think people just are rarely hyped about the show and how crazy turns here and there, and they just didn't like. I think it was rushed, a little bit of rushed at the end, you know. And anyway, enough about me. I want to know what y'all think. This went longer than anticipated. I'm sick, so my mind's kind of all over the place still, but I want to show up for y'all. I want to know what y'all think. Did you like the episode? Do you think it was over? Was it underwhelming? It did right by you? Are you patient like me and just going to see what happens in Superman Man of Tomorrow? Comment below. I want to know your thoughts. Again, like, subscribe. It does go a long way for me. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Peacemaker Season 2. Great scenes, man. There's some great scenes. My favorite scene still is the conversation between Chris and Atabayo, you know, and Harcourt and Chris, finally, when she says, oh, it meant everything, you know. Of course it did. It meant everything. And they looked at each other, you know. And Chris opening up, talking about this trauma, you know. It was good. It was good. If you take a sit down for a second for what it is, it was good. I can understand, because we were just like, it was basically unexpected episode. That's what it is, because we were just on a ride. Like, we're finding out all these things: new world, FX, new dimensions. Chris killing himself, like Augie being a kind Nazi. I don't know, you know, but not really a Nazi. Complacent, who knows, you know. Now I think about it, it's like still Nazi at the end of the day. So it was discovering so much, you know, and finding about their connection. Do they want to be each other or not, you know? Harcourt and Chris, anyway. So many questions. Like, the Peacemaker is not done. At least Peacemaker is not done. He shouldn't be done. Anyway, I want to know what y'all think. I'll see you in the next video.